Welcome to Lake Nakuru, a beautiful and biodiverse ecosystem in Kenya, Africa, home to many different species of plants and animals. It is well known for the high population of flamingos that nest along the shore. But what exactly makes Lake Nakuru so special?
Located in the Great Rift Valley in the east of Africa, Lake Nakuru is one of 3 lakes surrounded by fertile lands in the middle of Kenya's desert highlands. It is also the site of a national park, a safe haven for its diverse collection of wild flora and fauna. It has been deemed a wetland of international importance under the Ramsar Convention, an international treaty signed in 1971 calling for the sustainable preservation of wetlands due to their great ecological significance.
Those who work at Lake Nakuru National Park today try to preserve the area due to its status in Kenya as a mass tourist attraction. However, the lake and its surrounding lands have not always been adequately protected or managed. Urban and agricultural development have put major stresses on the ecosystem, and the area is still under threat from human influence today.
Nakuru is directly south of Nakuru, one of the largest cities in Kenya that is rapidly growing due to extensive agriculture, forestry, and ranching as a means of economic development. With a population growth rate of 10%, Nakuru's agricultural focus is very beneficial to the economy. However, it has resulted in deforestation of the land, increased amount of unmanageable waste, and an increased use of fertilizers and pesticides, all of which have harmful effects on the fragile ecosystem.
Deforestation, removing trees from the land, has a profound impact on the area. Firstly, the mass removal has led to an increase in flooding. In 2011, floods increased the size of the lake, thus changing the chemical balance. More water means a diluted alkaline level, which is less beneficial to the algae that the lake's well-known flamingos feed on. These algae are carotenoids, meaning they are rich in beta-carotene, an orange-reddish chemical also found in carrots, which contributes to the bird's vibrant color. These masses of flamingos normally thrive on Lake Nakuru due to the huge amounts of blue-green algae that serves as their primary food source. Here, the concept of trophic structure is in play. If a trophic pyramid has a large base of primary producers, it will have a large level of primary consumers, even though only 10% of the energy is being passed on. However, if the lake becomes less acidic and less salty, algae production will decline, and thus these flamingos will need to find a new habitat to forage in.
Deforestation can also cause changes in the soil. A lack of trees means water from flooding and precipitation runoff cannot be held back from the lake by plant roots. This erosion of the soil not only impacts the fertility of the soil, as nutrient-rich topsoil is being lost, but also affects the lake, because Nakuru is a catchment area, the area from which precipitation flows into the nearby body of water. Excess soil will end up in the lake, leading to siltation, an increased amount of soil in a body of water. Anything that ends up in the soil in the town will eventually end up in the lake. As said before, Nakuru is an agriculture-based city, which means nitrogen-based fertilizers are often used to help crops grow. Runoff washes this fertilized soil into the lake, resulting in eutrophication. Eutrophication is when excess nitrates wash into the lake, which means an excess of nutrients ends up in the lake. The combination of nutrients and sunlight causes an algal bloom. Because of the increased amount of algae, sunlight is blocked from reaching deeper areas of the lake, and oxygen is depleted from the area. As algae and the plants below die, decomposers deplete the oxygen even more in breaking down these dead organisms. Over time, oxygen is depleted entirely from the area and it becomes a dead zone, a place where no life is supported.
In addition, Nakuru is a rapidly industrializing city. A growing population means an increase in the production of domestic and industrial waste. However, the rate at which the population is growing is too fast to be supported by the city's developing infrastructure. Municipal waste is often not disposed of properly, and sustainable land use is not always encouraged. As a result, the combination of deforestation and waste has led to industrial pollution of the water. Fortunately, the huge amount of algae on Lake Nakuru attracts roughly 1.5 million lesser flamingos every year, consuming about 250,000 kilograms of algae per 100 acres in a year. Flamingos are crucial to this ecosystem because they eat the mass amounts of algae, managing the algae population and keeping the lake healthy. Unfortunately, both the change in alkalinity and an increase in polluted water threatens the flamingo's presence. Change in alkalinity removes the characteristic that algae thrive on, decreasing the food source and forcing flamingos to migrate. And this has happened before. In 1997, Flooding transformed the alkalinity of Nakuru and pushed the birds to migrate to another nearby lake in the Great Rift Valley. In addition, polluted runoff is absorbed by the cyanobacteria, and these heavy metal pollutants are ingested by the hungry flamingos, causing sickness and even death. This has also happened before. The flamingo population dropped rapidly in 2000 when thousands of flamingos were found dead with heavy metal pollutants that was also found in the water and lake sediment in their tissue. If these practices continue and the flamingos were to disappear from the lake habitat, effects of eutrophication might cause life to cease to be supported in the lake.
In 1988, the World Wildlife Fund began efforts to both conserve and sustainably develop the park and the surrounding region. In addition, the lake, along with 2 others in the area, are on the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, leading to increased legal protection. Lake Nakuru National Park was also declared a sanctuary for white and black rhinos in 1983 and for the Rothschild's giraffe. However, while this work has helped the lake and its surrounding region, more still needs to be done.